All right, start recording. Here we are on a remote hillside. This is a far-off place in our Plains biome because I don't want to show you anything at the base. I'm recording this video after I've recorded a bunch of other videos specifically for David35445, who asked how to build a SMELT-O-RATOR, and I didn't want to spoil anything that may be happening in the base that you guys haven't seen yet. So while I have you, actually, let's take this opportunity to say thank you so much for subscribing to my Minecraft video series, and there's a lot more to come, especially John Galdieri and daughter Cassidy, and everybody else. I think we're up to 11 subscribers now. Really appreciate it, and everybody follow along. This is going to be a very, very simple thing, but David asked how to do it. To make a SMELT-O-RATOR, which is a thing that I use in pretty much every one of my worlds, all it does is automate the smelting process. To make a SMELT-O-RATOR, you're going to need a few things. And what you see here in my hotbar, or in my inventory, not my don't pay attention to this. This is just my regular loadout. This is all SMELT-O-RATOR stuff. So you definitely need the 2 chests. You can get away with, or 2 furnaces. You can get away with only 4 chests. You can get away with only 4 hoppers. But we're going to make an advanced SMELT-O-RATOR, so we've got 6 of each. Going to need some fuel and some stuff to smelt. So the first thing you do is place down a couple of chests, and this is going to be your output. All the stuff that's going to get smelted ends up in these chests. You then take a couple of hoppers. If you don't know how to build hoppers, their recipe is in the recipe book, and you attach these to the chests like so. Now comes the fun part. And you want to make sure the hoppers are pointing down into the chest. This isn't a video on how to work hoppers, but you can, when you place a hopper, you can shift or crawl, creep, whatever your creep button is, while you click it, and it will point the little nozzle of the hopper where you want it to go. So as you can see, we can have lots of hoppers all pointing into this one chest. They're all pointing in there. So you want to make sure the nozzle of the hopper is pointing down into the chest, which I think it will do by default. Anything that goes into these hoppers gets loaded into the chest, as you see right there. When you have 2 hoppers, you can load 2 different things at one time, like so. So it shouldn't be that hard to figure out where we're going to go from here. David, however, I think is a kind of a newbie Minecrafter, so we'll talk about exactly what's going to happen. The next thing that's going to happen is 2 chests are going to get put on top of these hoppers, right? So when you put fuel in the chest, it doesn't get loaded into the hopper. But when you put something to get smelted, like a block of cobblestone, it's going to get smelted up into a block of smooth stone. We'll see it very briefly appear right here, I think. We might not even see it. Yeah, there it was. It goes into the hopper, and then boom, we've got smooth stone in the chest. So you could just stop there. You could just manually load everything you want to smelt into the furnaces, manually load the fuel. But I like to get a little fancy with it, and I put 2 more hoppers on top of the furnaces, which apparently I'm going to keep calling chests for the remainder of this video. And again, you want to make sure those nozzles are pointed down. And so then if you put another chest, don't mind the scaffolding, put another chest on top of these, whatever you put in here into the chest gets automatically sent to the furnaces through these hoppers to be smelted, as you can see right there. So we put in 23, we've got 12 in one and 11 in the other. It splits it up pretty evenly. And so if we had fuel in those furnaces, they would automatically turn on, smelt that stone down into the chest right there. The sun is going down. We're probably going to have to fight off mobs as we do this, but we're almost done, really. So that's the basic SMELT-O-RATOR. That's like SMELT-O-RATOR, economy version. Nothing too fancy. All you got to do when you want to smelt something down, you put it in the top chest and you walk away, and then you come back later and it will be smelted in the bottom chest. The only thing you do have to keep up with is you have to manually put fuel in the furnaces. Now that to me defeats the entire purpose of having an automatic SMELT-O-RATOR. Of course, this is the model that I've been using in this world because it's just simpler. But furnaces can actually be loaded from the left side. I believe this is correct. From the you know what? Let's pause the recording here and find out. Pause recording. Start recording. Okay. We're gonna head back to the. We're gonna head back to the. No. Jeez. All right. Head back to the remote hilltop over here. You might have gotten just a glimpse of the base there. It is a good thing that I stopped to check because I was getting ready to tell you something wrong. Furnaces can be loaded from any side other than the top, that you can load the fuel automatically, which is pretty cool. It didn't used to be that way. Let me check my 6 and make sure I'm not going to get creepered up here, although that might make for more interesting video. I have not yet died in this world. Okay, so depending on how you want to configure your smelter-rator, you can apparently load the hoppers, the fuel hoppers, from the sides, and then put 2 chests on top of them. They will automatically load the fuel in there, and that seems to be probably the best design. Although then you'd have to keep up with 2 different fuel chests. So I'll show you how I do it, and keep in mind that it's only just now that I've learned that you can do it this way. What I do is, let's make a little platform here, jump up. Guess we'll need to do this. Here's how I've always done it. Hopper there going into the back of the furnaces, although in the past I've turned the furnaces the other way so that it worked out to the left side, but apparently you don't have to do that anymore. Whatever. And so now this is your, excuse me, more coffee. This is your fuel chest. So if we check the furnaces, you will see they're now empty. Where's that creeper? Did he go away? Making me nervous. Okay, we have 2 empty furnaces. We come here, drop a bunch of coal in, and it's going to fill up the fuel slot of these furnaces, which is really, really handy. So this means that all you have to do is have a hopper feeding this chest from somewhere else in your base. If you want to build this into a wall, you won't be able to get to the back of the chest. That's always the problem that I've had with it. Have a hopper system feeding this chest or whatever, or you could just build it out from a wall and access it manually if you don't care about aesthetics. If you're just a crude, unsophisticated Minecrafter, I guess you could do that. Anyway, you put your fuel in this chest, and the fun thing about this is you could put in all types of fuel. For example, we can put in these saplings, and the saplings will burn. And that way, if you have like a bunch of like wooden crap and saplings and stuff, it's kind of taking up your inventory, you want to get rid of them, you just put them in the fuel chest, and eventually they'll get cycled through and burned and used for fuel. So now whatever we put up here, like some stakes and some cobblestone, all we gotta do is wait. We'll put some more coal up here, and it will evenly distribute the fuel to both of those things, and that's it. That's it. That's all you gotta do, and then you come back later, and well, look, you got smooth stone and cooked steaks. So David, 35, 445. I hope you have enjoyed the Smelter-Rator tutorial. It's a simple design, but it works really well. There's a lot of automatic furnace designs on YouTube, and you can go find things that work way faster. But this one is so simple and so cheap. I mean, basically, you're looking at 4 to 6 hoppers, so less than a stack of iron, and you get this system going, and you can just walk away and leave it smelting farm stuff, ores, minerals, building materials, whatever you want to do. It's really, really handy. Thanks for watching, and keep the ends out for the gribs that grinds. That seems really awkward. See you in the next grind.